Hey guys, how's it going? It's Lewis here on the channel Lewis and Jim, and today I just want to share a quick class setup tutorial which you can use within Black Ops 3. I use this class a ton and it helps me out so much to level up, especially in Domination. I think that's the best to use it on. But yeah, let's just jump straight into this and I'll show you the class now. So, I know some people might not like this gun because of the recoil that it has. It's the Kuda. I have it at level 13, and if you actually use the reflex sight, it can help an absolute ton, so it can. That's what I use on it. And then I use the Eclipse red dot sight because I like to go for a challenge, and it's a really hard dot sight to use. So you know me, I like to go for a challenge, and that's the one that I used because it's harder to hit enemies with it. And then for the attachments, I actually used Quick Draw just so that I can pull out my mags and put a new one in quicker, so I can run back out of the battlefield and get more enemies. And to help another bit with the recoil, I actually used the stock, and that'll bring down the recoil quite a bit, although you'll still have the auto recoil. I mean, personally, the reflex and the stock help you the most with the recoil. For the secondary, I did not pick anything. I left it all blank, optics, attachments, everything, just left it all blank. But for the lethal, I actually went for the Semtex, because when you're reloading the Kuda, say there's a ton of enemies in front of you, you need to get to B, A, B, C, whatever you need to get to, but there's a ton of enemies at it, and you're reloading, and you know the Kuda can't take out two enemies at the one time. It's just, it can, but it's very unlikely. You gotta have a lucky shot, or either playing with really bad people. So you can throw it as Semtex down to the A, B or C, whichever one you're trying to capture, and it can actually just wipe out all the enemies. Then you can slide in, get your A, B or C or whatever one you're trying to dominate, and then that's you. That's just an easy way to get it, and also you're going to rack up some kills from that. And then for the perks, I went for Overclock, which can actually help you get your Specialist faster. And for my Specialist, I went for Sheriff, the Annihilator, and it gets you so much XP. It is unreal for using that gun. It's not unreal, but every time you shoot an enemy with that air gun, you get an absolute ton of XP. Perk 2, I went for Tracker, which can actually help you find the enemy's footsteps. Like, it'll show you the enemy's footsteps, which helps an absolute ton, so it does. So say if there's an enemy around the corner, or an enemy's coming behind you, and say they walked in front of you and then went behind you because they seen you, you'll be able to see their footsteps, so you'll get a quicker reaction and be able to find them quicker. And especially if there's enemies in a room and you don't know if they've walked in that room or not, so you'll see their footsteps from when they've walked in the room. Now, it won't be footsteps from ages ago, it'll just be sort of recent activity footsteps. So if they just recently went somewhere, then you'll see their footsteps. But that helps an absolute ton for kills, and just to help you be more aware of your surroundings and your enemies around you. And then actually for perk 3, I actually chose a wild card for it. It's Take a Second perk 3. And the first one I chose is Awareness. It helps you be able to hear the enemy's movements, footsteps, reloads, different things like that there in their gunshots. I also use the Turtle Beach PX24s, which can help me hear their footsteps without that perk, but with it, it's a ton better. And then for the second perk 3, I went for Gung-Ho. It allows you to hip fire, deploy equipment, throw grenades while all sprinting at the same time, which helps an absolute ton. Because say you're running and you bump into an enemy with the Kuda, if you didn't have that attachment or perk, you'd have to stop and get them in, and then finally get the enemy, which it just takes too long and you're dead by the time that happens. So you can actually hip fire them instead, which helps me out a ton. And that is really it for this weapon setup. I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope you use this weapon setup within your Black Ops 3. It helps me a ton, and I hope it helps you a ton if you use it. Thank you guys for listening, and this is Lewis, and I will see you in the next video.